Hello, everybody. This is David Scott Peters coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona at the world headquarters of the restaurantexpert.com. You are in the right place if you're joining me for our webinar today, The Why. It's really kind of a twofold. I want to share with you why I started this company and why we do what we do. But I also want to share with you kind of why you join or why you did join. And so it's kind of twofold. And this is really something that I've wanted to do for quite a while now, is kind of remind people or tell a lot of you the longer story, not just the, hey, we're a restaurant training coaching company and so on. Now I'm going to get started in just a minute. In the meantime, I want to welcome you all here and let you know, hey, I've got Jenny Brooks and Greg Sauerback on my team who are monitoring the chat box. At any point in time, you've got a question, I want you to put it in the chat box. We're going to reply to it as best we can. I'm going to be answering your questions at the end of this webinar, and I'll be looking at a different device where Jenny's going to feed me those questions. So put them in that box. In the meantime, I'd love to know who's joined me. Are you a current member? If you're not a member, where are you from? What's the name of your restaurant? Type that in the chat box right now. I'd love to kind of get to know you and kind of see who's tuning in, who's joining me live, right? I mean, this is the great new technology, YouTube Live. Kind of crazy how things have changed. In the meantime, as you're typing in where you're from, who you are, name of your restaurant, whether you're a member or not in that chat box, subscribe now. If you're not already subscribing to my YouTube channel, make sure you click subscribe now, because we're putting up tips all the time. We're putting webinars out. We're putting things that really can make a difference in your business. Free information, right? The ability for you to jump on here and grab things that can help you change your bottom line. Now, with that said, I'm really glad that you made it here. I think I've given everybody enough time. We're about 1 minute in. I'm going to get started here. Again, anytime you have a question, type it in the chat box, and either Jenny Brooks or Greg Sauerback on my team are going to answer those for you, and they're going to tally up any questions for me specifically, so at the end of the webinar, I'll answer those. So let's get started. My name, for many of you already know that, is David Scott Peters. I'm the founder of the restaurantexpert.com. The restaurantexpert.com is a restaurant training and coaching company that happens to have software as a service, the centerpiece of what we do to change your lives. Today, I've brought you here because I want to talk to you about the why. Why did I start the company? I want to share with you deep down from the bottom of my heart why we do what we do. We're not a software company. We're a restaurant training and coaching company that has software as a service. More importantly, not only why did I start the company, but why would you join? Why did you join? I want to remind you why you're doing what you're doing and what the benefits can be by doing so. So let's start off. The why, revolutionizing how your restaurant operates. I'm going to start off with my background. Now, most everybody's heard me talk about my background. I do it kind of in a really short period of time, but I'm going to give you greater detail. I'm really going to give you the ability to hone in and see what my background is and why I do what I do today, why I created this company, why it should benefit you. Well, first of all, I grew up in my family's restaurant and catering business back in Linwood, New Jersey, where I worked for the toughest manager I know, my mother. If anybody here on this webinar has ever worked for your family, a mother, a father, a grandparent, whomever, you know that technically it's really hard. I always joke around when I give speeches. I say, oh, I worked for my mom. It sucked. And I say, I hated it. I really did, right? Because as a teenager, she asked my sister and I to do twice as much as anybody else, wrote us harder than anybody else, and I hated it. Well, the truth of the matter is I disliked it. Hate is a strong word. I'm a teenager, man. Think about, I got teenagers, how much they really want to work. But it was harder. I mean, truly, there were times where I was a busser and one of the servers stiffed me. And I'm like, Mom, like a whiny little bitch. Mom, she didn't tip me. She said, suck it up, buttercup. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. Work harder. And those are lessons that they hurt as a youngster. But as I grew up, you thicken your skin. You understand that it's a law of averages and so on. But I've got to tell you that I loved working for my mom. I mean, that was our business. It was a family business. So I don't often share that part. It's a little quip that says, oh, I hated it, but she did me a favor. And she really did. Every job I had after, I literally elevated. I elevated everywhere I worked quickly, always the youngest at the top. Now, as the years went on, I went to college. I got back in the restaurant business, trying to get back out. I got back in eventually, and I ended up being really the operations manager of a multi-unit brew pub and cafe here in Phoenix, Arizona called Coyote Springs Brewing Company and Cafe. But that's the short version. I was actually a franchisor. I was selling franchises, doing franchise compliance for something completely out of food and beverage. I had gotten out of the industry doing heating, air, plumbing, electrical franchising. And the company was downsizing. We were no longer going to franchise. So I went out and I actually started bartending again and was doing consulting as a franchise consultant, believe it or not. And I got sucked back in. I loved hospitality. I forgot how much I missed it. And I was the best bartender in the world. Now, today, I'd be your best bar back. My drinks are in the 80s and 90s. But I loved bartending. I mean, I had a stage because at the same time I was bartending, I was doing improv comedy. I literally on weekends was on stage doing improv comedy, kind of like the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? It was magic for me, just incredible. And I fell in love with the business again. I fell in love with the owners of the business, the Gerards. Bill Gerard specifically was a retired banker and decided, right, I'm going to retire and open a restaurant. How many times have you heard that story? Like the worst story in the world. Why would you do that? This is not retirement. But as I worked there, I got opportunities to start to manage. I was that MIT or supervisor, bartending part of the time, being the bar manager, relegated only working nights and so on. And the next thing you know, things are moving up, moving along, and Bill says to the general manager, bring David on as a full-time manager. And the GM said, no frickin' way, we don't have the money for it. He said, you know what? If David does his job, he's going to pay for himself. And I actually did. I more than paid for myself. And as I grew, I developed systems, processes, ways to make the restaurant better. I cared so much. I took a $700 Sunday. That was our total sales on a $700 on a Sunday. By the time I left the floor and moved into an operations role, it were $7,000 Sundays. At one point in time, as the owner went off to open a second location and started leaving the business, well, there was this void. You know the void? I know the owner. Well, it became, is David here? I know David, right? I know David. And I come around the corner just like the owner wouldn't go like, who the hell's that? And hey, how are you? But I had an incredible time. There was also a magical time. Those of you who are brand new in the business, or those of you who've been here for 20, 30 years like me, and you think back to that one magic restaurant, this was that magic restaurant where everybody pulled together. And it was incredible, right? We were all on the same team and we're building something from scratch. This is in the early 90s when brew pubs were opening one a week. And so it was this magical time. We had the magical staff, which you will never get back again. You only get that once, right? We had a blast. Well, Bill decided he was going to open a second location. And he was going to open a third, and I was supposed to get the third. So that one of the managers got our downtown location, the GM stayed at his, and I was working back and forth. We went early downtown Phoenix, years and years early. The Coyotes just came into the arena. We were starting to see some growth, but the hotels weren't built yet. Business wasn't growing enough down there, so it was a bit of a struggle. But as I went down there, and I was working both places, I learned the struggles of events. Filling 300 seats in 25 minutes and everybody wants out in 45. What a struggle that was. But I also was removed from management for a 2-week project, just a 2-week project. Bill said to both general managers, pull David from the schedule. I want him to do a budget. Well, why? Because budgets are proactive, right? They're a plan for success. Well, literally 3 years later when I left that job, right? I literally never went back on the floor as a full-time manager. It didn't mean I didn't work every rush, every event, everything that happened and go back and forth. But I had the ability to manage $4 million in sales. I had the ability to manage a management team of 5 in each location, hundreds of employees. And at this time, I got to develop my systems. And they're what I call my restaurant operational smart systems. Restaurant systems that are simple, measurable, applicable, repeatable, trainable. The key with any system's got to be simple or nobody uses it. It's got to be trainable. And this is back in the day before really computers were huge. It got to a point where a microsystem was closed, right? Closed architecture. Think back, old timers, right? When I started, we were using green bar paper. Well, now I'm in spreadsheets. And I'm a spreadsheet geek and I'm buying books that thick to be able to do things. And I'm creating systems. Literally, I would create an ordering system that I'd get all my bids and I put everything in and then I'd modem, remember modem and PC Anywhere into my two locations, and I'd fill a database and they just simply order and it would push out purchase orders. I mean, this is unbelievable, almost 20 years ago. Well, as I put those systems together, I also learned huge lessons. Because I didn't grow up in the chain business. I grew up in a family independent restaurant and catering business in Linwood, New Jersey. Well, we started having struggles. And when things go wrong, you have to think outside the box and fix them. So one of those struggles was our owner, Bill, went off to Ireland to tour the Guinness factory, the brewery. Take his family, have a blast. And when he left, he said, David, you're going to pay the bills. That was my training on cash flow management. You're going to pay the bills. Now, I'm going to tell you, we had some struggles. Our first location was a cash cow, but our second location was like owning a boat, a hole in water in which you throw money. And it was just sucking every dollar the other one made, twice as fast as we could make it. It got tough. I literally had to find him in Europe and say, Bill, we're not going to make payroll. And then was instructed to call our investing partners and for a cash call. I mean, I know what it is to struggle, but I also know what it is to put the systems in place to change your life. And that's where I got my training ground. I'd put 80 hours in a week. I learned profit and loss statements, accounting, because we hadn't done ours in 2 years because he had fired the accounting firm and we hadn't filed our 8027 tip report with the IRS for 2 years and we got audited. Next thing you know, we brought in a company to help us with our books, and I had to do 2 years worth of books, reconciling, going down and hitting my head in the basement, finding those boxes with credit card receipts and the whole bit. I discovered we didn't collect $10,000 in Diners Club. Do you remember Diners Club? I discovered that we had all these different problems, and I tied all that up right before I had gotten married. Literally, I had worked over 24 hours, almost 36 hours before I left to go get married to make sure all that got done. Now, while that was unbelievably difficult, do you know what an incredible training that was? Through somebody else's mistakes, through somebody else's risk, I got to see what it was like when things go wrong. I got to see the impact of what cash flow means to a business, employees, and so on, all the way to a point where, hell, at one point in time when we grew too fast without systems. I had to develop after the fact, which means we were going through management one after another, even to a point where our culture died. Our first location was no longer magical. It was suffering. Our second location, it was painful to walk in. And so I understand how important the people part of the business is. We need systems and we need people. Ultimately, we need a culture where the details matter and people love to be where they are. Well, as things got rougher financially, I knew that it was time for me to move on. I had learned everything I can. I loved the family, but I needed to move on. I moved on to a company called Famous Sam's, a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain. I literally got in there as the director of operations. I mean, that was exciting for me. I went from an operations manager of a multi-unit brew pub and cafe, 2 units, to a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain, director of operations. The guys who bought the company wanted to take it public. So I had a brand new operations team that I got to handpick. We were opening 8 stores. We were going gangbusters. It was unbelievable. I rebuilt their complete training system for all the franchisees from scratch. I got to go on the ground and open store after store after store. I got to see what it was when you took somebody who had no restaurant experience and give them the systems and the training and support to be successful. But he also saw the challenges of people who had been in a system a long time when things were good enough, right? It's good enough. And I couldn't understand that because I've always strived to be better. But as I did this, I created trainings. We had co-op meetings with owners, and I had to learn how to politic and bring people along slowly without a hammer. Sometimes I had to learn how to use the hammer. Well, unbelievably, as we were opening all these stores, the guys who bought Famous Sam's, they damn near bankrupted the company. It was unbelievable. The minority shareholders had to come in and bail the company out, and upper management was taking off left and right. And I'm like, this is not a place for me. So what I did is I moved on, and I went to work for Scottsdale Culinary Institute, where I taught management, human resources, wines, and spirits. I took all the training that I had created, right? The systems from Coyote Springs, the training from Famous Sam's that I created, and now I was working in a culinary school helping people change their lives. I took their education from here to here because I was teaching them exactly what I taught franchisees, the same systems and tools the chains use. Now, it was fun. I loved it. But things weren't going the way I wanted to. They moved me to nights, and I was going to have a kid, and things weren't just, well, the politics of education. I didn't buy into it. Drove me nuts. And in just about a little over a year's time, during that process, I was consulting. And believe it or not, some of the Famous Sam's franchisees were my consulting clients because the franchisor had fallen off. There was this exodus. And one of those people were the minority shareholders of Famous Sam's, who are now the majority shareholders. And they kept asking me back, David, come back, come back. Help us turn the company around and sell it. I kept saying no. But now, again, I'm giving you the big story. Well, Scott's the Culinary Institute moved me to nights, and things weren't going the way I wanted to. And you know what I said? It was 1 month before my first child was born. I said, okay. Now, when I came back, I was now the chief operating officer of a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain as a franchisor. I no longer had a full operations team. I had a director of operations. Our staff had been trimmed down. We needed to do more, and we were in financial stress. I was told, hey, come back, help us turn the company around in 5 years. And I'm going to tell you honestly, this company should have been bankrupt, done. We were in financial straits. I mean, we had money due. I had to go fly to our bank in California and get into the workout department. And with a fast amortization schedule, I had created cash flow reports that on a daily basis, I needed to know whether we were getting paid our franchise fees from our franchisees, what needed to be paid. I mean, it was unbelievably difficult. But I had the right people on my team and I had the right systems in place to help do so. Then we had to try and build a couple more stores. I had to turn around some franchisees that were backwards. This was really a huge challenge. Well, do you know what? I did sell that company, and I did make the deadline, but I missed it by 3 months. See, I know what makes independence run. That's how I grew up. I know what makes chains successful. And it's my job to give you the same systems tools that chains use without losing your independence. We love our guests, we love our employees, but we are going to do what they do well, and that's what? Make money. Now, the crazy part is, my second time back to Famous Sam's was a 5-year plan, 5 years. 3 years into it is when I saw that I was going to be really close to successfully turning this around and selling it. Now, understand, as the chief operating officer, I was selling myself out of a job. I was going to be toast, done. Well, 3 years into it, my mother goes to a seminar. Literally, my mom goes to a seminar called $1 Million Speaking. It was this $100 seminar. It was about the business of speaking, how to be a professional speaker, not like somebody who goes a fee-paid speaker, but how to sell product from stage. My mom's a very creative person, has incredible things she's put together. This really intrigued her. By the time she was finished that, she came back and said, David, I went to this seminar. It was only $100. And I bought into the next seminar, and I need you to go with me. Well, what is a seminar? Well, it's the business of speaking. Oh, that's great. I was a speech comm major in college, graduated with a degree in interpersonal organizational, but I was set to go TV radio. Didn't go that route. I was going to act and do some other things. Funny how your path doesn't always go the way you think it's going to. And my dad was a speaker, an NLP speaker, like Anthony Robbins stuff. He was on the speaker bureau, the whole bit. I mean, he was incredible from stage. So I'm thinking, man, this will be fun. I'll go with you. How much you pay? Well, it's $4,000 up front, and then when you start doing this, it's $25,000. I'm like, you did what? You did what? Right? So I'm a kid, and I'm going absolutely apeshit. Like, what did you do? Well, David, I need you to come with me. I'm allowed to bring somebody for free. Well, I'm being a typical kid. And I go, and we're in Las Vegas. It's a 4-day seminar. I'm sitting with her. I'm like, is there a manual? Is there a manual? She's like, I don't think there's a manual. I'm like, there better be a freaking manual. I mean, I'm just being a bitch of a kid because I want to protect my mom. Who just took advantage of my mom? A $25,000 seminar, let alone $4,000. Okay, what's going on? By the end of day one, I'm telling you, it was like, poof, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to help independents. That's where I came from. I'm going to give them the same systems tools that chains use without losing their independence. I would use my creativity from being an improv comic and a speech comm major, wanting to speak from stage. I could help others. I could do all these things. And the beautiful part is I got to grow into business, not go into business. See, I explained this to the Shepherds, and they said they were the owners of Famous Sam's now. And they said, as long as you're doing the job well for us and you help us go through here, you can go into business. It meant I got to grow into business. I literally got to create my very first product while I was still working at Famous Sam's. I did 2 workshops, 4-day workshops while I was at Famous Sam's. I'd been speaking across the country at a little something here, a little there, nothing major yet, while I was still working at Famous Sam's. The crazy part is, as soon as my franchisees saw me do that, and they heard I sold the company, we're months away, I did more coaching and consulting with our franchisees than I had done years earlier for all this stuff, because all of a sudden I was the smartest guy in the world. I mean, the crazy part is, for those owners on this webinar right now, you understand what I mean. You send them to my workshop, your employees, you come with them, and I'll say exactly what you say. And when they leave, they're like, oh my gosh, like the sea is parted. I get it. David's so smart. It's not that I'm smart. I'm just not you. And I've lived it. As a franchisor, you're never an expert in your own backyard. As a restaurant owner, you're never an expert in your own backyard. And so, somebody else says the same exact message, they're brilliant. Well, guess what? I experienced that, and now I was leaving, all of a sudden I was brilliant. Kind of crazy. Now, the beautiful part is, at this point in time, from going to that seminar with my mother, creating these things, that brings us to the why. Why did I create what I created? Well, first of all, you have challenges. You have incredible challenges. I know because I've lived them. I've told you, I felt the cash flow nightmare. I've made the cash call. Hell, I've done the credit card loans, which is like mafia money. I mean, you're spending 80% interest rate when you get the credit card loans. I mean, I've done it all. I've not paid our sales tax and paid the incredible penalties and interest. We've been late on our employment taxes. I mean, you name it. I felt every mistake you've made or gone through. And what are those mistakes? Well, number one, we'd look at our food costs. You have challenges right now. Your food costs keep going up. In fact, do you know when they started going up, like through the roof? It was after 9/11, the worst day in my modern American history, my lifetime, 9/11. On the 12th, there was a huge change in our industry of what things cost. And our food prices just keep going up, and there is no signs that there's going to be this major correction going down. It's just our costs are going up, from fuel surcharges over the years to commodities. There's always locusts. Some like locusts hit Florida, and now the citrus crops are ruined, and your citrus prices are up. Canada, there was locust swarms, and the cows ate them, and they went mad. I mean, you get the idea, right? There's always something. You've got an MA, a salesperson, walking your door every day telling you about the commodity that's going through the roof. Well, how do I deal with that? Oh, what about my labor? Oh my gosh. Today's day and age, we have $15 minimum wage. It's coming. It's not if, it's when. The state of Washington. Seattle, Washington started at the airport, the municipality, $15 minimum wage. Then it moved to Seattle. Now it's being phased into the state of Washington. California voted it in. LA, it's $15 an hour right now, and it's being phased throughout the state over years. New York City is $15 minimum wage, and it's being phased throughout the state. Washington, D.C. And then we have countless other states that it's gone to $12 minimum wage. Here in Arizona, on the ballot right now, is a $12 minimum wage. And all of this without tip credit, right? Some of you are in tip credit states. Hell, if I was in Georgia right now, I'm still enjoying a $2.13 minimum wage for servers because of tip credit. Well, guess what? In California and Los Angeles, there is no tip credit. I have $15 minimum wage servers next to $15 minimum wage cooks because can't pay them $20, $25 to bring that in. And they're making a ton of money. I've got servers making more money than any manager. This is our reality. And then As of December 1st, 2016, the federal government has enacted that for our managers to be exempt from overtime, they're doubling to over $47,000. I think it's $47,476, something like that. Almost $47,500 is the minimum, or $913 a week is the minimum salary if you want a manager to be exempt from overtime. Where's this money coming from? Then we look at it and say, oh, my people are idiots. How often do you walk into your place and go, who the frick put that there? Who's the idiot that did that? Isn't it common sense? Why are the lights so bright? And we beat our head against the wall every single day, blood streaming down because we think they're supposed to have common sense. Crazy part is what? You selected him, you hired him, you trained him, you manage him on a daily basis. They're yours. They're your idiots. And the crazy part is it's not that we find good people, it's we create good people. We don't have training systems. The systems we need in place is independence to be successful. How the hell is it that chains can do it over and over and over again and duplicate themselves? And last but not least, I can't get my managers to do anything, right? I'm going to pay them this money. How often do I hear an independent tell me, well, I'm paying them a salary now and I thought I'd get more out of them. In fact, they work less. Now they have power went to their head. I ask them to do inventory. They don't. They give me excuses. I need recipe cards. Nobody does what I ask. Well, guess what? They're never going to be successful if you didn't lay out the systems for them to follow, if you don't train them those systems and then hold them accountable to those systems. So our challenge is my food's out of control, my labor's out of control, my people are idiots, and my managers won't do shit. Right? You're starting to see the why. Why did I start this company? What am I supposed to help you with? Well, what about your why? Why are you, if you're a member with me right now, whether you've been with me for 13 years, and I've got members who've been with me 10, 13 years, or you just started, why'd you join? If you've been circling, like a vulture wondering, waiting for something to happen, maybe I'm going to die and this company's going to go away. Well, I've been in business for over 13 years. It ain't going away. We've got 10 employees full-time, 2 part-time, and we're growing. Ain't going away, people. Why would you join? Well, here are your reasons, right? Think about your challenges. Number 1, you want to make more money. We are now in a position where when I started this company over 13 years ago, the national average, or the benchmark for prime cost, total cost of goods sold plus total labor cost, was 65% for a full service restaurant, 60% for a quick serve. Well, I had my people early on at a 60%. Thought I was patting myself on the back, but I told you all those things, rising costs, rising costs, rising costs. That doesn't work anymore. I've been working, me and my team have been helping independent restaurants look at a new standard that if you do $850,000 a year or more in sales, your new prime cost target is 55%. That means if you're $1 million a year business and you're doing 65% prime cost, patting yourself on the back saying, man, I'm doing a great job. No, you're not. There's 10 points on the table, $100,000 in bottom line profitability if you're willing to do the work. And there is real work involved. There is no magic pill. I mean, let me be clear. There is no marketing magic pill. There's no operations magic pill. There's no point of sale magic pill. There's no one thing to replace doing the work. You have to lead the process and be ready for change. And I'll tell you right now, what we do is not right for everybody. I like to think it is, but you have to be able to lead it. And I want just not to insult anybody. But just because you own a restaurant doesn't make you a born leader, and it takes leadership to be successful in this business. And that's where systems come in. They make up for our weaknesses, and we'll get to that in a second. Next reason, you want great managers. Holy crap, I don't want to keep hiring a chain manager and hope they fix it, and they always fail because I didn't give them my systems. They fail in our industry, meaning the independent side of the industry. Without somebody with an iron fist over them and giving them exactly what they want done, hold them accountable, it ain't going to happen. And then I pay people and I say, okay, I'm going to add managers. This is going to work. Well, if you don't give them the systems, it doesn't work. But ultimately, isn't your goal, don't you want to have a management team know exactly what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when, to be successful? Don't you want to be like the chain restaurants where they don't have to have an owner in the building 24/7? Right? Think about it. These chain restaurants have thousands of locations. No owners. How the hell do they do that? They impose their will by putting systems in place and holding people accountable to those systems. Don't you want that? Managers who know their job, that are great at what their job is because they've been trained and you can hold them accountable? How about last but not least? How about having a life back? My goal is to fire you, restaurant owners. Listen, I want to fire you. What do I mean I want to fire you? I want you working on your business, not in it. All too often, we find ourselves in a position with minimum wages and all these costs. Well, I'm in a tough spot, so what am I going to do? I'm going to be the manager in the building. Worse yet, I'm going to be on the line cooking. I'm an owner chef, and I'm going to get on the line. I'm everybody's bitch. I'm the best prep cook. I'm the best line cook. I'm the best, but I'm ignoring driving sales. I'm ignoring my numbers. I'm ignoring my guests. All I'm doing is focusing on a task, and it can kill your business. How about I have you leading the team, working on marketing, growing the business, working on your budgets, holding people accountable, developing your team. That's what you need to be doing, is leading your business. That's what I mean by firing you. I don't want you working in your business. I want you working on it. And I don't care if you show up 7 days a week because your ADD entrepreneur brain kicks in and says, I got to stay. But you could walk out the door at any moment because you have a full management team in place, knowing what they're supposed to do and doing it. That's your why. Now, let me tell you my why. Let me go back into my why. Why did I start this company? What are we doing? Well, it starts with our purpose. Our purpose, help independent restaurants not only survive, but thrive in the sea of chain restaurants out there. If you've seen me speak anywhere, that comes out of my mouth so quickly. Why is it the chain should kick our ass? Because think about it. So many of these chains, they suck. The challenge is they suck the same way every single day, which builds business. How can I teach you the importance of consistency, about cost controls, about holding management accountable, about getting others to help, and putting all of this work in place? It's not an easy process. Well, let me rephrase that. It can be an easy process, the systems part. The hard part is getting people to use it every single day. So my purpose is to give you those same systems and tools. Well, what about our dream? My dream when I started it was to revolutionize how independent restaurants operate. Why the hell do we have to operate like a mom and pop? Right? How much money's in the bank? I need to cook. I need to serve. I need to clean. Nobody does anything. My employees are idiots. I've got it. And if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Why not be like the chain restaurants and have systems in place for everything that you do, no matter if it's a small system or big system, meaning counting out a bar drawer the same way every single time, or dollars per labor hour and taking your business to the next level? Why can't we do that? Well, we can. With the right systems and tools in place, I can get you there. And that's my dream. My dream is to revolutionize how your restaurant operates. But I'm telling you, there's work involved. There's no magic pill. Nobody has that magic pill to sell. What about our vision? Our vision is the restaurantexpert.com will be the company, the one company to which independent restaurants turn to simplify their operations, make more money, and live a balanced life. Right? That's the why I did it for you. I literally want you to have your life back. I want you to make more money. I want you to have managers in the place, know what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when. Our mission, right? If you remember, missions are your short-term goal. What's the next 5 years look like? Well, to teach independent restaurant owners how to operate with systems to help them make more money, live a balanced life, and to bring them together to share ideas, challenges, successes in a safe, friendly, cooperative environment. I do that through coaching, through workshops, seminars, and I've got an elite group that we meet on a quarterly basis. I do individual seminars all across the country, pulling people together. I want you in a place that you're no longer alone. See, one of the reasons that chains kick our ass is they've got this thing called a corporate office. They're never alone. Somebody's looking over their numbers. Somebody knows what's going on in the marketplace and other restaurants, other four walls. And so imagine a part of what we are, we're franchise training and support for the person who doesn't want to franchise without paying 7% monthly gross sales, just a monthly nominal fee. Give you the same support and that broad view that there are other restaurants out there doing things that we're not, and we need to make a change. Now, one of those things is, those are the purpose, the why, and so on. But wait a second. How do we make the decisions? I talk about it all the time to independent restaurants, why you've got to document your core values. I want to share with you my core values. The same core values everyone in my company uses as the glasses they look through. when they make a decision on our business and how this affects you, my member or my potential member. First, to educate. We ourselves as restaurateurs and coaches and entrepreneurs, teach other restaurateurs and managers to systemize their business quickly, efficiently, and more easily than ever thought possible, thereby empowering them in their businesses and lives. Realizing we aren't the only teachers available, we bring our clientele together to learn from each other. At the same time, we understand as an organization, we must make it a point to continue our learning and be flexible to new ideas, systems, and change. What does that mean? So that means over the years, I've added more seminars. I've taken myself on the road. I speak all over the country. I want to educate. I want to give our industry all the tools necessary. But I also realize where I came from, and everybody on my team has been a restaurateur, whether a restaurant owner or a manager at some level, a chef, what have you. And we all remember the struggles. We've been there. We've walked that circle. We bring that to mind. We don't say, you're an idiot. We say, no, let me teach you. Let me give you those. How do we avoid those landmines that blow us up and cost us money? How do we get by those? And the other part is I've learned so much. If I had talked to myself 13 plus years ago, starting this company, I said, oh, you're a restaurant expert? Are you kidding me? Right? I mean, again, how did I become a restaurant expert? Did I go to Restaurant Expert University? Is there a course called the Restaurant Expert Certification? No, or did I wake up one morning and go, I'm an expert. I did this. Well, I got news for you. I am an expert. And I've learned so much from you over the last decade plus that we keep evolving and adding new systems and adding new ways, changing the way we do things, because you know what? There's always another way, and sometimes it's better. Well, that's what we do. That's how we make decisions. We're not closed-minded. There's not only one way. Empathy. This is important. We ourselves as restaurateurs understand the struggles our clientele face on a daily basis. We've been there, done that. We will always remember where we came from, which helps us understand where many of our clientele are today and the challenges they face. We will approach each interaction with our clientele with kindness and consideration. We are here to ease their pain and help them achieve their vision using the same systems that helped us achieve our own. Let me look at this. Empathy. Dude, been there, done that. I understand somebody's just starting with me and has the same headaches that somebody's been with me for 13 years. Totally different level, different set of pain, still pain. And I'm going to give you the same, we're going to have the same patience and empathy for you here as you are here. We don't make judgments. But I will tell you, we are brutally honest. If you need a kick in the pants, I'm going to frickin' kick you in the pants, because who is going to? As entrepreneurs, who holds us accountable? Well, I'm going to do that for you. Now, what about our integrity? We act with unwavering integrity for every action we take with our clientele, partners, and fellow teammates. Though we may sometimes sacrifice the easy dollar or relationship that does not align with our core values, acting with integrity keeps us focused on the success of our clientele, which is directly related to our own success. Here's the bottom line. When we say we want to help you, we mean it. Will we go above and beyond? Yeah. Hell, with our members, you get 1 hour of our time every single month. You need an extra call? Pick up the frickin' phone. We don't bill you. We don't say, where's your credit card? You need help? You're in a crisis? We're going to find our way to make your crises our crises. We do our very best to make sure we are there for you. But I can also tell you, there are so many businesses out there that contact me on a daily basis, literally daily basis, want to get on our blog, want us to do business, want access to my list, and I don't share. The only time I ever give you another vendor, whether it's a Daring Dennington at Service with Style, whether it's Cameron Carrington Repeat Returns, Sandy Coram of thecateringcoach.com, if I give you somebody, I give you their name, I'm going to tell you that's somebody I believe in. When I believe in them, that's what it is. If I don't, I'm not doing business. And you know what? It holds me back. I could grow faster. There's some marketing people out there that, quite honestly, my core values don't align with. And they've got a huge list. I'm not going to play games. So you can understand that when we say something, we mean it. We're there to give it to you. Fun. Now, I'm going to tell you, I used to be an improv comic. I am not, we'll go on consults. My business partner, Chef Fred Langley, and I go on a consult, and I'll open my mouth. I'll say something stupid, trying to get a laugh. And he'll often remind people, if you wanted the professional consulting group, you got the wrong one. I got to have fun. And if we're going to work together, even if it's once a month on the phone, whether it's consulting basis, whatever it may be, we're going to have fun because I think it's really important. I want to enrich your life in some way, not just say, here's business, business, business. So here's my core value. We value fun, laughter, and relationships. While our main focus is improving our clientele's businesses, we understand that improving their lives goes hand in hand. And the best way to do that is create an environment that is not only nurtures the entrepreneurial spirit, but the human spirit. Fun is an element of every interaction we have with our clientele and as a team. Look, fun's important. If you've ever been to my 3-day workshop, it used to be 4 days when I first started the company. Heck, I'll have you laughing. I present the most boring information in the world. I get you counting shit, being excited about that. Who gets excited about counting shit on a Sunday, right, to do inventory? I get you doing key item reports, waste sheets, but I'm going to do it in a way that's more entertaining, fun, real world than anybody else. I'm going to spin you up because you had a blast. And I'm going to motivate you, get you so excited about your business again because you got to have that passion. The passion needs to come back. Last but not least, my last core value is lead. We as a team here at the restaurantexpert.com will lead independent restaurant owners towards implementing operational systems and tools to run their restaurants more efficiently, help them make more money, and live a balanced life. This will be done through one-on-one and mastermind group settings, right? This is your why. I'm supposed to lead you. I'm supposed to give you the tough love. I'm supposed to give you the actual solutions, how to do it, hold your hand through the process. Me and my team, our job is to make you successful. We're going to lead. And we're going to do it anyway, from workshops and seminars to online trainings to one-on-one coaching to consulting. Whatever you need, it's here. So we talk about why. Why did I start the restaurantexpert.com? It's to take care of your pain. I want to get your life back, make more money, have managers know what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done. I want to give you the same systems tools that chains use without losing your independence. And let me be very clear. We love our guests. We love our employees. Well, we are going to do what they do and that's make money. And the last thing I want anybody on here going, well, we're going to become corporate. That's bullshit. What does that mean, becoming corporate? Corporate? We're going to be cold and sterile? I'm not going to make you an Applebee's overnight. What I am going to do is ask your employees to do more. We're going to raise the bar. And that can be difficult. That can be very difficult. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But we still love our guests. We still love our employees. Well, we are going to do what they do. And that allows you to have freedom away from your business. It allows you to have managers know what the job is, do it well, by when. It allows you to make the money you deserve. Did you open your business to be a charity? Because if you don't run profitably, you're not there for your guests, and you need to run profitably for them so they have a place to go. If you don't run profitably, there are no jobs for your employees. You need to provide jobs for the community and your people, but you got to take care of you and your family, and you've got to come first. And that's hard for us because we're in the hospitality industry. We're built to help others. Well, let's talk about the system side, right? I'm telling you, systems are so important. Well, I can break this down to 3 skill sets you've got to have. One is your qualitative skills. That's your gut feel, right? You know your business because you walk the circle, you look at your bank account, and you got it. Well, the qualitative skills is really your gut. You know your business. Tom Peters, no relation to me, if you remember in the early 90s, wrote management books. He called it management by wandering around. You touch the tables, you place the order, you did the prep. You're right, you're doing. And when you see something wrong, you impose your will, say, no, fix it. No, stop, do it this way. Right? You do that. The problem is we use that in our gut to run our businesses, and that doesn't work. That worked 30 years ago when costs were low. Then I worry about you because you see a speaker like me, and maybe somebody like me goes out there and says at a food show and says the National Restaurant Association says the national average or benchmark for food costs is 34%. And you go home and say, Chef, I need a 34%. Who the frick said that's your number? Right? You go see somebody talk about labor costs, 32%, 32%. Who said that? All of a sudden, you add those things together, 34 and 32. Well, that's a 68% prime cost. You're already over budget. And who said that was yours? What if, based on recipe costing cards and your ideal menu mix from your POS system, your food cost is supposed to be 28? You hit the 34. You're losing thousands every single month. What if your food cost is supposed to be 38% because you're a high-end steakhouse and you keep badgering your chef for 34? He or she's got to cut product quality and portion size and cut yourself out of business. We got to have the right numbers. And that's where we come down to solid training. I need to make sure I train my people. See, the other part is you go see people like me and you go, oh, we got to have recipe cards and we got to do this, key item reports and waste sheets. And next thing you know, you didn't teach them. Your managers fail time and time again. Well, I told them I needed this stuff. Unless you train them, how are they going to know what their job is? How to do it, how well it should be done, by when. And that's where the systems come in. What do we provide? We provide you the systems. What do systems give you? Quantifiable goals. We have budgets that we can proactively manage our business, not react. Oh, here's my P&L, the past. Oh, that sucks. How about we put together a plan for success and we know when we're going to implement key item reports and waste sheets and our purchase allotment system and reduce our food costs by 2-3 points. We're going to do our recipe cards by month 3. We're going to do an analysis by month 4. We're going to put on a new menu that's going to reduce our food costs by 5 points. How about creating a plan of action and then being able to measure it? I can do that when I have systems in place. How about trainable results? Heck, if I've got a plan, then I've got a system, a process, a way to doing everything, which means I have trainable results. I'm not developing a person in the way that my restaurant runs on a person. I mean, how often have you had that manager, whether you have them on team right now or in the past, where you're like, I got to fire this person. I want to kill them. They are such a pain in my ass. Yet, oh my gosh, I can't order the food. I don't know the prep schedule. I don't know this, or I can't schedule people. I don't know how to run the AV system. I don't know. And so all of a sudden we keep them on our team because all that knowledge is in their head. If we fire them, the knowledge is gone. I got news for you. That sucks. I have a feeling and a belief that managing people sucks. What I want to do is manage a system. You either did the job or you didn't, and I want to develop people. See, I want to make sure that I have the right systems in place, that I'm always training my replacements. It's not if, it's when a manager moves on, opens their own restaurant, gets fired, or opens a new store for you, that you got to have trained replacements. I can't do that if I don't have systems. How many times, those of you on this call right now that maybe you opened a second location, a third location, and then you saw the gaps, and you failed, you had to close, you had to back up because you didn't have systems. You could run a successful restaurant when your ass was in it. That's not where we want to be. So I have trainable results, I have systems, but here's my favorite part. I just kind of said it a moment ago. It takes the personalities out. You either did the job or you didn't. I don't care if you're a bully manager. So the rules written by me for you to follow. If you don't like it, there's a door. Don't let it hit in the ass on the way out. Actually, I do. I think you should be flogged. I think there's no room for bullies in our industry, but they exist. I don't care if you're a jellyfish. What the hell's a jellyfish? A jellyfish is that, that bartender, that line cook, that server that you talked out of being a line employee and into being a manager, and they're still going out and drinking with their friends that they work with. I threw up in your car last night. Now I want you to respect me and do side work. It doesn't work. Once somebody moves into management, they've got to understand that they've got to crystallize a spine. That's why I call them jellyfish. They got to crystallize a spine. I can't go out drinking with you and getting stupid all the time. I'm in a new role. You need to respect me. Oh, I hope you're a head coach. You're Sally Q mentor. You're right in the middle, and you're like the bully. You know the rules written by you for you to follow, but you actually follow them. But you also know that you can do everybody's job. But what you know different from the bully is I can't do them all at the same time. That's why I need systems. See, I can walk into your office, if I'm doing the manual form, pull off the manager log, you did it or you didn't. I can pull out the inventory, you did it or you didn't. Perpetual inventory was followed. Purchase allotment, budgeting, did I buy on budget? Did I schedule on budget? You did it or you didn't. Nowadays with our software, I can log online with my cell phone or a computer or an iPad or a Droid, and I can see that you ordered on time, on budget, following PARs, that you're scheduling next week on budget, or you're controlling labor this week. I know what happened last night, where the cash made the bank. I've got all the systems at my fingertips, but my job is to hold you accountable, teach you those systems, and take the personalities out. I don't want conflict. I don't want you getting your back door, doing this, right before you put your hand on the knob, and walking in, beginning, oh my gosh, it's going to be a fight today. I don't want it to be a fight. See, when I teach a manager what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when I've tested them and they show me they've done it, and let's say they've taken inventory every Sunday accurately for the last 3 months, and this Sunday they didn't, there is no conflict. I'm going to hold them accountable. Actually, I'm going to hold them answerable for their actions or inactions because I've been clear. There is no gray area on what my expectations were. This is what systems do for you. They take the common sense bullshit out of our lives and say, this is exactly what I want done. Now, before you go, oh my gosh, I got to tell my managers how to wipe their ass, my answer is yes. But it's not because they're stupid. It's because they want to know what the rules are. See, if I'm a manager for you, I want you so detailed and clear on everything from manager checklist to how I order and budgets and all this wonderful stuff that I want you to play a game with me. Find me doing something wrong. You've been so clear and concise on what you want done, and you've trained me on it that I can only be successful. Instead, what do? We grab a newspaper. We grab a brand new manager, and we say, follow me for 3 days. Now we throw him keys, say good luck, and then we say, bad dog, right? It's like training a puppy who's just pooped on the carpet. We say, hey, lights are out, and we go, bad job, until your managers are walking through the restaurant like this, and then we send the next thing, and bad dog. Who the hell wants to be trained that way? We wonder why we have managers not succeed in our business. We have high turnover in management, why they fail. That's not training. We need to have the right systems in place. Yes, it takes work to put the systems in place, but the payoff is incredible. Look at the damn chain restaurants. Are they doing something wrong or something right? Like, do we want to model independents that close their doors every single day, or do we want to model the chains that expand with thousands of units? Again, without losing our independence. So here's the big thing. While I just told you about all these systems, and I'm going to show you some examples, step by step, what needs to be put in place. The realization is this. It's less about systems and more about changing your company culture. No kidding. I mean, think about it. It's easy to put a key item report and a waste sheet in place. I put those on a clipboard right away. What's the hard part? What do you think the hard part is? Getting them to use it on a daily basis, every day. Because with a system, the day you take your eye off the ball, that system goes away. So it's really about changing your company culture. It really is. Now, here's the deal. If you embrace what we teach, whether you're a current member, a future member, going to see me at a workshop, see me speak it all over the country, literally all over the world, internationally, you have to understand this one thing, that it's about your people. And I can promise you with 100% certainty that if you embrace what we teach, the system side of the business, the why, I will promise you you're going to lose one or more of your best people. Oh gosh, David, that sounds exciting. I can't wait to sign up. Let me lose one of my key managers, one of my key servers. This is so great. Why do I want to do that? Listen to me. You will lose one of your best people because you're going to raise the bar, and your employees will reach as low as the bar. Think about it. Friday night, cook calls off. Can't call somebody else in. Record night is being predicted. You've got reservations. You've got a party. You're about to have your ass handed to you. You get in the kitchen, go, everybody, we're going to have our ass handed to you. We're short a cook. We're going to get through this. I'm going to work the expo. Let's get her done. The end of the shift, everybody's like, woo, high fives, this is awesome. Unbelievable. I can't believe we did it. Yeah, you know what? If you could do it that Friday, you could do it every Friday. So all of a sudden, we start raising the bar, and you might have a manager go, whoa, I've been working for you 10 years. Are you telling me I'm doing a bad job today? No, I'm not. You've done a great job for 10 years. We are moving the bar up. We're going to take our business to the next level. And the challenge is some of your managers, some of your employees aren't going to like the change. So here's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to have an all-employee meeting. Everybody, we're so excited. I've joined the revolutionizing. We're going to put all these systems in place. We're going to change our company culture. Here are the benefits to our guests. They're going to have a more consistent experience, better food quality, better service, repeat. They're going to home away from home. Here are the benefits to you. You're going to make more money because we're going to be busier. We're going to make things easier for you because you know exactly what's done. Consistent management. And here are the benefits to me and my family. We're going to be profitable. We can expand, create opportunities. We can do. Now, unfortunately, I understand some of you aren't going to like this change, and you may quit or get fired. Now, let me be very clear. I want and need every one of you. I want you to come along on this journey, but I understand some of you may not like the change, and you may quit or get fired. But here's what we're doing. I need everybody to be a change agent, and you move on in the meeting. I drew a line in the sand saying we're moving forward because you can no longer let 2-3 people on your business hold you back. Because I know who you are. You're on this webinar right now. You're the same person who comes see me speak. You're the same person questing for information and that magic pill and the things that I can do that I can get my life back, make more money, have managers know their job, right? And hold them accountable. Same people. We're at the top of our business because we give a shit. We want to be better. But you know what? They know when you've been to a seminar. You come home and they go, oh shit, they've been to another seminar, right? Because you're like, I saw David Scott Peters' new recipe cost cards, and they go, no, no, no. Our restaurant's different. What do you serve with a limp? What is different? What is different about a restaurant? You have food and people. Maybe you have booze. They're the same. I don't care if you're fine dining or quick service. Full service, quick service, doesn't matter. We have people and product. And we're supposed to be in the hospitality industry, making memories, creating memories. We're not in the food business. You want to compete in the food business, you're competing with a freaking gas station. I want to create memories. We're in the hospitality industry. And so what? We're going to do this. We're going to take our business to the next level, and we're no longer going to let those 2-3 people hold us back. I really don't want to hear that phone call. David, I love your stuff. I tried. The hell does try and get you? Nothing. In fact, my 14-year-old daughter, when she was 13, I had a friend come over. I said, hey, Brooke, what does try and get you? I wanted her to say nothing. She said, trying leads to excuses. All trying does is lead to excuses why it can't be done. Don't tell me why it can't be done. Tell me how it can be done. It may be too expensive, may take too much time, may take too many man-hours, but it can be done. Start changing your mindset because you have to be ready for change for this. You have to be willing to let people go. That's a part of the change. But you know what? If somebody quits or get fired, if they get fired, what do they ask you to do? Help them quit? They didn't have the stones to quit. They want to make you the bad guy. So what if they quit or get fired? You know what happens to the next person who comes on? They're like thankful for the job opportunity, right? They're not, you owe me. I've been with you for 10 years. They're thankful for the opportunity. They don't know any of the past history or old way. They know the new way. And all of a sudden your business starts going through the roof. And oh, by the way, the moment that person leaves, they go out of the woodwork. Everybody goes, why'd you wait so long? Like, you're freaking kidding me, right? You've got to take care of your people. And a part of that is you need to lead your team. You need to be ready for change, not the idea of change, but really change. Because when you put these systems in place, I'm reminding you, it's about company culture. It's about changing our culture from closed to open, that every manager leaves the restaurant ready for the next manager, 100% ready. We need to stop holding line employees accountable for side work that's not being done and hold the manager accountable that they cannot leave the building until they've handed off a restaurant that is 100% ready to go for the next manager, that we build trust in each other, that there's a system, a process, a way, and we all follow it. That's what we're doing. So the systems part are actually pretty easy. Now, don't get me wrong, it takes 6 months to a year if you're motivated to get everything in place. Beautiful part is as soon as you start to see results. But where you really make the change is when you change your company culture, and you know it, is when one employee looks to another and says, hey man, that's not how we do that here. And that's my dream for you. That's the big why. Now, let me go back here. Hold on 1 second. Here's the deal. We start with, before you get to me and the system side, I've got to make sure you understand it starts with the foundation of hospitality. That's Restaurant 101. Hot food hot, cold food cold, clean, safe work environment, guest employees, wow customer service, incredible food. Right? That's the hospitality side. The next is implementing the beginning of the systems part, the foundations, the keystone to your arch called your restaurant. And that is, I need checklists and cash controls. Checklists for every position, opening, closing, side work. It's the beginning of me imposing my will. It's making sure things are getting done my way. It's holding management accountable to make sure that we have a closed open culture. I need cash controls, no rounding up, rounding down bullshit. Every penny gets counted. Because if I can't get people to follow a checklist and make sure every penny makes it into the bank, then what makes you think I'm going to get somebody to follow a recipe card and make sure it's perfect every single time? To make sure the restaurant is clean, that we're greeting people properly, that we're giving our best. If you can't do the little things, what makes you think culturally in your business you're going to get the big things done? Once I have these as my foundation, we're ready for the big stuff. Now, what I did over the years, I created something called my 4-phase plan. Because I literally used to overwhelm people when it was old spreadsheets and clipboard systems, just literally, this was separated, this separated. How do I keep it all in place? Because there's so much. And in the beginning, when I started my business, it would take people literally 3 years to put everything in place. We now have it automated to a point where it's 6 months to a year. but it's still got to get done. So look how overwhelming it can be. What do we provide? What's the why? The why is I want to give you the same systems and tools that chains use without losing your independence. Love our guests, love our employees. We're going to make money. I'm going to make you more money. I'm going to get you your life back. I'm going to have I'm going to have a management team in your place that knows what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when. I'm going to take your business to the next level. I'm going to fire you and have you doing the big stuff. So here we go. Phase one, the easy stuff. The kitchen. I need waste sheets, key item reports, receiving procedures. I need to keep honest people honest. Be proactive, right? Waste sheet is a proactive management tool. It's not an I gotcha. If I see what I'm wasting, I can fix it. Jose's burning steaks, retrain him. I see it, fix it, when, today, not 15 days in the next period. Salia's servers, double ordering. Get her off the floor, get her retraining on the POS system again. On our menu, I can fix it, when, today. Key item reports, keep honest people honest. Hey, I'm not getting ripped off any fillets anymore because I'm paying attention. Receiving procedures. Am I getting the tonnage I requested? Am I getting the right pricing? Am I getting the right products? Bar, visually checking in order, stocking by the six pack, spill sheets, comp sheets, controls to make sure my booze is locked up. Labor systems, master schedules, and staffing guides that anyone can write a schedule. Because all too often in our business, we've got one person on our team, and often it's you. It's the only person going to write a schedule. You literally can't go on vacation without writing 2-week schedules because you're the only one who can do it. Every time I give it away to somebody, it blows up because you don't have a system. You don't have a process, a way. Pre-shift meetings, guest policy, China dish, order forms, little things, small words to make sure it gets done. How many times do you go, oh, my managers are idiots. We ran out of iced teaspoons. How do we run out of iced teaspoons? Don't they see we don't have any backups? Because it's so freaking simple, somebody thinks somebody's going to get it. It means everybody thinks somebody else is going to get it. It falls through the cracks. We need systems for everything. Excuse me, even if it means you're in charge of light bulbs. Pay attention. You're in charge of forks. I don't care. There's a system, a process, a way. Now that's the easy stuff. You can put this all in place today. How about phase two? The basics, sales forecast, budgeted targets, break-even point, accrual accounting. Are we doing those things right? Our budgets allow us to be proactive. Our sales forecast, if I bring in too many people, costs me money. Bring in too few, costs me money, right? Opportunities can slow ticket times. Too much food, it can be stolen, wasted, spoiled. Too little food, 86 items. I've got to have a system for everything. These things are critical. Kitchen supply order forms. Are we ordering off our head? Do we grab a box top and a grease pencil and walk through our walk-in cooler like we're a tourist in New York City? Oh, I need some of that. Or do I have par levels and the ability that my sous chef or a line supervisor could do the count and the order is almost automatically created for you then to review? I need those kinds of systems. Liquor, that needs to have a system. Or do you have a rookie manager buying a case of bourbon to save money, which you're never, ever going to sell? Perpetual inventory, locked everything up. Weekly inventories, not monthly, not annually, weekly. And before you go nuts and say, David, it takes 4 hours to do inventory in my place, it's because you don't have a system. I have $5 million restaurants doing inventory in under an hour every single Sunday because we set up shelf-to-sheet inventory. Right now, you don't have a system. They grab a list of products, they go in and say milk, and then they go, milk. They go to the next item, do the same process. That's why it takes 4 hours. How about we count it by the 30-pound case here, the 5-pound bag here, the ounce here, and 5-ounce portion bag here. I could literally hand inventory to 2 people for each section and have it done in an hour more accurately than it's ever been done. FIFO pricing, cost of goods sold calculation. In 4 calculations, I'll guarantee put more money in your bank account because cash pays our bills, not profits. Labor systems, give you our labor budgeting system. That I tell my managers how many hours and dollars they have to spend. Now with hours, we can stop over-scheduling and we can trade and have budget in mind. 7 must-dos of controlling labor costs. 13 steps to writing a foolproof schedule. These are what? These are the common sense stuff. Instead of handing a schedule to a rookie manager, making the same dumbass mistakes that you made and every other manager did by putting rookies on busy shifts, not putting enough people on, putting the wrong people on, you name it. You lose money. Why should we do that? How about tell them how you want it done, your way? We've got operational system, manager checklist, manager log, 5-1 posters, I-9, 80-20 sim tip, OSHA stuff. That's got to be done. Now, you really want to start to make real change in your business. P&Ls by the 5th. Calculating your current ratio, understanding your cash flow projections, having a weekly budget variance report. Because when I have a weekly budget variance report, instead of getting 15 days in the next period, getting a P&L handed to you, oh shit, that looks horrible. I can see I've got a problem this week, and I can make small changes the next 3 weeks without giving up guest satisfaction, without cutting product quality, without doing things that damage my business, small tweaks to make the money I was supposed to make the whole month because I had a manager fall asleep at the wheel this 1 week. Right? Incredible. Become proactive, not reactive managers, proactive. Recipe costing cards, the most critical thing in your system. 2 things. Budgets, recipe costing cards. What are the 2 things independents don't have? Budgets, recipe cards. If you don't have recipe costing cards for every item you sell, including all the batch recipes you make, you are throwing your profitability to what I call dumbass luck. I wonder why I'm not making money. Really? You think a tire retail store, a manager walks out, looks at a stack of tires, stares at it and goes, pulls a number out of their ass that's $350 to sell them? No, they know what every tire costs, what he or she needs to sell it for to make money. How the hell do you run your business? No recipe cost cards. Oh, well, I generally know what my protein costs. Then you're generally not making money. Are we in an industry of dollars or pennies? We're an industry of pennies. It drives me nuts. How the hell do you think you're supposed to make money when you don't know what your recipes cost? I need a system for that. Tackle our inventory turns, get the product off the shelves and cash back into my pocket because last time I checked, I can't go to the power company with a case of steaks and say, thud, we're even. Prep systems to make sure people are prepping not what they think, what the business needs are. Standard drink recipes, mid-shift bar drawer audits to keep honest people honest. Having 2 FTEs more than we need. How do we schedule? I know we have enough people on there that when somebody quits, when another cook gets thrown in jail, I don't hire the next body. They fogs a mirror and think, oh shit, I shouldn't have hired him again. 6 months later, should have never been hired. Operational systems, employee training systems, pattern interviews, 3-strike approach, harassment prevention, employee evaluations, all of it. The HR side, do you have that? Or do you just kind of, we wing it? Now you really want to go to the next level, make real money, semi-monthly payroll, reconciling on a daily basis our cash. Dollars per labor hour, looking at efficiencies, menu engineering to find 3-7 points overnight, item by themselves, mix analysis, ideal versus actual cost, attack your descending dollar report, get a prime vendor agreement. And I don't care what order you do these things. Look at all the things that have to be done in your business. And if you're thinking to yourself, oh, well, I don't have enough time in my day. Yeah, because you don't have systems in place. You're trying to do everything yourself. Let me be very clear. I call myself the restaurant expert. My company's called therestaurantexpert.com. I got to have stones. I'm confident in what I do. Look, why am I confident? I've done every mistake you've made. All these systems I had to develop or learn and put in a way that's trainable. I've been there. How about let's avoid the landmines? Let's follow a proven plan, a system, a process, a way to success. But as good as I think I am, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care if you're a $350,000 pizza place, a person who bought a job, or you're an $8 million restaurant or a $7 million 7-location chain. I couldn't do all the systems I teach by myself. You need help. I'm going to talk about that and how you put that help together. So what does that mean? It means you need to learn to delegate. You cannot delegate something if you don't have a system in place. Right? If you don't, you abdicate. You say, here, you do it. And how often do people fail? When's the last time you came home and said, hey, I want recipe costing cards done. I saw David Scott Peters. And I want them by the end of the month. And you get a yes. And by the end of that month, the recipe cards? Oh no, Locust ate my homework, right? Excuses. Nothing. And it's certainly, managements often think delegation is micromanagement. Micromanagement is, give me it, let me do it. There will be milestones in place, but can you successfully delegate? We can help you successfully delegate and hold, ultimately, your management team accountable. Because when there's a system in place, you've trained your manager to that system, and you hold them accountable, which is really not a dirty word. It's an opportunity to coach. It means I'm going to make them answerable. I'm going to be so clear, and they're going to demonstrate they've got it to me, that they make a decision. I've got my obligations, my job description. As a manager, I make a decision to do those obligations or not, and I'm going to be answerable for whether I did it. Because if you trained them, and you were so clear and specific with how you want things done, and they demonstrated, tested out, shown you that they've done it over and over again, when they don't, it's not conflict. We remove conflict from day to day from management and ownership or general managers and managers. We're so clear on what we want done, they can only be successful because ultimately your job is to never let your management team fail. But they're going to fail time and time again if you think insanely, right? The definition of insanity, Albert Einstein, right? The definition of insanity is Albert Einstein says doing the same thing over and over again but expecting a different result. It's insane. I really like to change. I love this stuff. I really need to make more money. I need to get my food costs down. I need to get my labor costs down. I need to. Yet you do the same dumbass things day after day after day. And the only reason why they're dumbass is because you fail to change. That's ignorant, right? I need you to never stop the quest for learning. But more importantly, I need you to take action. There's a phrase I put on my training room wall that I stole from my father. It says, ideas are cheap. It's the people who put them into action that are priceless. Are you priceless or do you just talk a lot? I love the idea of change. Change ain't easy. I mean, you got to be willing to let people go. They get to make that choice, right? You're going to help them. You're going to train them. You got to be willing to change your company culture. You got to be willing to change your menu. You got to be willing to change the way you've done things. Because if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting a different result, I add one more piece to it, is how is it working for you? Are you ready to change and take your business to the next level? Whether you're watching me right now and you're a current member, or you're thinking about joining, why the hell did you join in the first place? Why should I join? Don't you want this kind of change in your business? Then stop wanting it and do it. It requires taking action. Now, let me remind you, the why. Why did you join? Or why should you join? Why do you think you're going to join? Well, there are three basic reasons. Make more money. You want to have managers know what their job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, by when, and hold them accountable to that, meaning answerable. And you want a life. I want to fire you. I want you working on your business rather than in it. One of the things I used to do when I do sales calls, I used to talk about my goal was to have you on the beach in Maui running your business. Well, son of a bitch. One of my members called us from the beach in Maui from his iPad because he couldn't print something off and fax it to his manager, and called Katrina and said, would you print this report off and fax it to them or email it to them? I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How freaking awesome is that? Right? Oh, by the way, this was a person who counted out his bar drawers for 2 restaurants for 24 years himself, and now has a full management team in place and runs a 42% prime cost on a weekly basis on a $5 million restaurant. Unbelievable. But it's really up to you. So let's talk about my why. What did I do? What did my team do? What does the restaurantexpert.com put together to help you with the why I started my company? Really, why did I do it? Went through the core values, mission, dream, vision, right? Purpose. I went through your whys, why you joined or are going to join. What you get? What did we create? Well, over a decade plus, right? 13 plus years from the time I'm recording this right now, I started with a 4-day workshop called How to Run a Profitable Restaurant from Soup to Nuts. It took me a decade to bring it down to 3 days because that's a lot of time. We go from 8:30 in the morning to 6:30 at night. We cover everything from mission, dream, vision, core values to making sure you know budgets and accounting simplified and your marketing budgets. We go through cash controls, cost of goods sold, basic to advanced controls, complete food and liquor systems. We go through how to analyze ideal, actual, and budgeted. 4-phase plan. Go to labor systems, from dollars per labor hour to manpower plan, management through checklists, and ultimately, what is your job? If I fire you, what the hell do you do on a daily basis? How do you hold people accountable? How do you successfully delegate? How do you run your business and lead the team when we're not natural born leaders? We use systems. Well, we do that twice a year. We added take action workshops, which are little seminars, 1 day on either cost of goods sold or on labor costs. We do 4 of those a year. We do monthly mastermind webinars where I do something like this and I teach a topic every single month. Create a library full of training materials. We have software training for our software. Well, we've also created every training product imaginable. Employee handbook, harassment prevention, train the trainer, how to structure a management bonus program, both a full service and a quick service training system with trainer's guide, job tests, evaluations. I mean, unbelievable. management training and operations manual that paint by numbers of all the systems we teach. Desktop software from a break-even point calculator that started the process with software, to our budget creator software, to menu profit generator, all desktop, all finding their way online into Smart Systems Pro, and our workshop in a box, a recording, 24 hours of audio of our 4-day workshop, not 3, when it was 4 days. All these products we provide to our members free. It's $8,000 in product that you can buy from me online on my website, or we provide it all to you. How about restaurant coaching? We're a restaurant training and coaching company that has software as our centerpiece. We never get away from being restaurant trainers and coaches. You get an hour of my time, me personally, my business partner, or one of our coaches, all restaurant professionals that are embrace the systems, have either used them themselves, whatever it may be. We're going to help you with your business. What does that mean? Well, first of all, I'm unfortunately not a fit guy anymore. I lift, but I'm not what I used to be. In college, I was a scholarship rower. I sat on my ass and went backwards in Muddy Charles in Boston. I had 9% body fat. I mean, I was an elite athlete. And you know why I was an elite athlete? Because I had a coach over me telling me what I had to do, and I had to follow it, or there were consequences. Well, now I'm 50 years old, and I don't have the same body fat, and I don't even want to talk about what my body fat is right now, but I'm 250 pounds. I'm not that guy anymore. Why? Because I don't have that coach over me telling me what I'm supposed to do, ensuring I'm doing it, holding me accountable. That's what we do. Hell, Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and all these people, these incredible athletes have a coach. We're here for you. You're not alone. See, when I look at your business, I see things that you don't because you're stuck in the muck. What do we do when we coach? We're going to write your budget for you with you. We're going to re-engineer your menu for you with you. We're going to help you every step of the way through a harassment claim, through teaching your managers cost of goods sold, to marketing, you name it. Whatever you need, you've got your own corporate office, if you will. We're here for you. You get an hour of our time every single month. Oh, by the way, if you got an extra question, pick up the gosh darn phone. I'm not an attorney, I'm not an accountant, nor is anybody on my team, which means we don't think about you as we're driving into work and charging you. You got an extra call, pick up the phone and call. If you become a pain in my ass, I'll let you know. I'll move you up in membership, but otherwise, frickin' call. I want you, look, I genuinely want you to use your coaching time. That's how you have success. Last but not least, we created over the last 5 years, Smart Systems Pro, your online restaurant management solution. And it kind of came like this. Over the years, all the things that we've done were spreadsheet driven, just like you do right now. And my members said to me, David, we love your stuff, but we're tired of putting the same number into 5 different spreadsheets. We're tired of management, either by accident or worse, on purpose, manipulating formulas. Hell, I don't even know, looking at bad numbers. And then when it comes to recipe costing cards, it's such heavy lifting. By the time I get them finished, the price of cheese changes. I got to change 20 cards. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait 3 months, 6 months, a year. Most important data in my business now out of date. Says to me, David, I want to put my numbers in once. I want to tie all my systems together. And oh, by the way, I want to hold my management accountable. I want them ready to know what the job is, how to do it, how well it should be done, and by when. And that's how Smart Systems Pro was born. Long as you have internet access and a web browser, whether on your phone, an iPad, a Droid tablet, a computer, long as you have internet access and one of these devices, a web browser, hell, I can see what's going on in my business. I could literally be anywhere and see that they placed an order. Hell, I could say, hey, line cook, who I've trained to count, go count the stuff, put it in the system, and from home, I can see an order and I can change it. Schedule is it? It's a daily manager log with cash controls, an online scheduling system with labor controls, including swapping schedules and schedule requests and all this stuff, all online with dollars per labor hour and reverse labor system and labor budgeting, all these things, incredible. Then we've got a full food, liquor, or beverage, I should say, and merchandise systems, recipe cards, ordering, inventory, prep, key item reports, weigh sheets. Ultimately giving me a weekly budget variance report that I can proactively see. See, no longer do my managers get a P&L from you 15 days in the next month and go, I don't believe those numbers, and it's too late to make a change. They put their information in, they see their numbers, they bless their numbers and tell you what they're going to do to fix it at the manager meeting. Change our culture from you chasing them for information to them changing you because they touched every number. They know. And oh, by the way, you have us over your shoulder. We can go into your system and help you analyze your numbers and say where to go. Hell, with the software, I told you I'm not a software company. We have software. We're a restaurant training and coaching company. You tell me any other software company in our industry that does what we do, that gives you unlimited training support Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Call all you'd like. Call or online chat. Because we've realized if you can't use the systems, they do you no good. Right? How did I develop? And oh, by the way, the why? The why means Smart Systems Pro is never going to be finished. We're rolling out QuickBooks integration as we speak. We're in the process of finishing up our first POS integration and plan on bringing 8 to 10 on quickly thereafter. We will always improve the system. We're going to later have automatic par levels. We're going to have all these things to automate. But ultimately, if you don't use them, it does you no good. Are you ready to take action? Are you serious about change? If you are, we are here to help. Now, I'm going to answer your questions you have. If you have any questions, type them in the chat window. And Jenny Brooks on my team, or Greg Sauerback, is going to put them together and message me on a different device so I can see them, because I've not been paying attention to the chat window so I can focus on you. But here's the deal. What's the investment? To join the restaurantexpert.com, have everything, all of our products, our coaching, our seminars, our workshops, with the exception of the workshops, $375 for you and a guest instead of $1,500. There's no hidden anything. That's the only thing you would pay extra for. It's $347. There's no sign-up fee. There's no setup fee. It is month to month. Hell, you can call me up and break up with me like we're dating in high school. David, it's me, not you. Look, if you're not going to use the systems, give me 30 days notice. That means the most you're into it is for 2 months. $700. Oh, by the way, you can download all $8,000 of our training product. Are all digitally downloadable and included in there. All I have to do is save you $11 a day. Do you know the only way I don't save you $11 a day? You don't do it. The beautiful part about this system is as soon as you start to see results. Hell, if you just do daily paperwork, your manager log, your paid out log, your invoice log, and use your end of day report, your DSR, type it in there, it gives you a system called the purchase allotment system that has you ordering on budget. If you do that alone, I can guarantee you I can save you at least $11 a day. And my goal, by the way, is in a very short period of time, within 3 to 6 months, I want to save you $3,000 to $10,000 a month, depending on your volumes. But the only way we get there is you actually do the work. There is no magic pill. You don't sign up with us and go, oh, the system doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work if you don't put stuff in it, right? If you don't marry it and say, this is how we're going to run our business. And when you do, it's unbelievable. Because you can check in on your management. You can log on and see they did their job or they didn't. You can train them to a specific system. If they move on, recipe cards aren't in somebody's head and gone. They're in your system with build charts and training systems and all of the stuff's in there. Hell, we make it so easy that if you get your invoice from any of your broadline distributors by spreadsheet, we create an import tool. We upload it like uploading a photograph to Facebook. Bang, all the recipe cards are update. Next inventory is update. Your next order is up to date. But you have to do the work. But here's the deal. We're a restaurant training coaching company. Whether you're a current member with me now or you're on this webinar right now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do for you. You just have to tell my team when you sign up. Or if you're already a member, let us know you need help. I'm now going to offer you our accelerator program. If you sign up today, or hell, you just mentioned this webinar, whether you're an existing member or in the future, in the next 30 days you sign up, I'm going to give you our Smart Systems Pro Accelerator program, which is a $4,800 value, $8 a month program. For $347, I'm going to give you an $800 value. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to assign one of my training support people to meet with you and your management team every week, weekly for 6 months. You want to get the excuses to go away, how the system doesn't work, or I don't know how, or it's too hard, or I don't know where my next step is. You saw the 4-phase plan. Hell, that's all in the system. How the hell do I get all that done? How about we hold your hand? How about we hold you accountable? Better yet, if you don't make those calls and your managers get on the horn and they don't do what we ask, We're going to ask you to hold them accountable. They don't work for us. How would you like us to hold your hand every step of the way? And that's above and beyond the hours time with me or one of my coaches. Do you understand? This is unbelievable. Why? Because we're a restaurant training coach company, and I started this business to revolutionize how your operation operates, to give you your life back, to help you make more money, have a great management team on staff that you can hold accountable. All that is $347 a month. If you'd like to learn more or sign up, you can go to therestaurantexpert.com, or you can call Greg Sauerback, our solutions coach, at 1-877-457-6278 at extension 106. Now, if there are any questions out there, I'm going to look at this other device and see if anybody has any questions. We do have some questions here. Let me start here. Jenny said here, how do restaurant owners make time to do this? That's an excellent question, because it's going to feel overwhelming. In the beginning, there's some heavy lifting. Like I told you, we can do inventory in under an hour. There is 20 to 30 man hours of work to put that together. Recipe costing cards, I'm going to show you we can do them in 2 minutes each, no problem. But you got to build your products. You got to document your recipes. You got to build them in the database. It's 40 to 60 man hours. The key to that is delegating. See, we're not just going to train you. We're going to train other people. And if you don't have managers, give me a key employee. Because much of this is data entry. What I need you to do is understand how to analyze it. So through delegation and training, and we're going to help you with that, that's how we get that done. Second question, how do I get my managers to buy into making this change? They say it's too hard or it doesn't work. Well, we're going to show you that it's not too hard. We're going to teach them. And what you've got to ultimately get to is we reach a point of don't know versus don't care. Don't know, that's your fault. You haven't trained them. Oh, but you don't have to train them. Hey, I don't understand it 100% of the time. There's a 5-day a week, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, unlimited training support, whether by chat or by phone. Go find out. Let's go find out together. So the excuse if I don't know and it's too hard is going to be gone. If they ultimately don't want to do it, and we get through 3 strikes, right? They don't do it, I train you. They don't do it, I train you. I don't do it, I train you. We've reached don't know versus don't care. If you don't know, that's your fault. But hey, you've given them the training. Hell, you gave us as a resource. If they ultimately don't want to do it, then it's time to say they don't care and get them the hell off your team. But notice through this whole process, I'm teaching, I'm training, I'm giving them the opportunity to be successful. Got another question here. Mark asked, can you help purchase a restaurant? Yeah, we can help you purchase a restaurant. That would be a side project. So you want to talk with Greg, let him you want to do so, and then I put you in contact with my business partner, Chef Fred Langley. We can help do an analysis and those kinds of things. It's not what we do. Just to be clear, we can help you with it, and we've helped probably 6 people over the years. What we do is help people take your business to the next level. So my recommendation is, if we can help you with that, it's really about the next piece running. Another question here. I have a chef that won't do recipe costing cards or count inventory. How do I get them to do these things? Son of a biscuit. I just did a whole webinar on chef means manager, not person who makes pretty food taste good. And here's the deal. This goes back to the beginning when I said to you, you can't let 1 or 2 people hold your business back. You can't do it. You have to make sure you give them the systems, the tools, the training, and then through proper delegation, I'm going to have these little benchmarks where I'm going to check in. And so there's 2 things that I want to share with you. One is when you ask them to do something, say, is that reasonable? Right? And if it's not, find a reasonable thing pushing them to get it done, meaning I need these done by a month. Well, is that reasonable? No, we got a record catering and da-da-da-da. How about 2? How about 1.5? Whatever it is, make sure it's reasonable. From there, once you assign the process, I'm not going to go through every step of delegation, but I want you to remember this. We're now all from the state of Missouri. Why? Because it's the show me state. So you sit there and say, how are things going? That's a milestone. By now you should have had X done. And they say, great. You say, great, show me. It's your job to never let them fail. Don't let them get to the end of the project and not have anything done. That's how we make sure. And ultimately they get a choice. Change is a coming, and she doesn't have to be a bitch, but she's coming. Do they want to be a part of it or they don't? Let them make that change. Let's see here. Another question. Spanish language. You're in a Spanish-speaking country. Is support bilingual? The answer is yes. Now, I've got two people on my team. One, I've got a full-time coach and training person who is fluent in Spanish. So we have that. We also have the ability through our chat function, it uses Google Translate. So you could type in Spanish and my non-Spanish speakers will see it in English and we can go back and forth. My business partner is also pretty fluent in Spanish. So the answer is yes to that. How do I connect and engage with younger employees? That's a freaking awesome question. You know what? By having the right training in place. See, our new people in the workplace are no different than the old people in our workplace, with the exception of they've never lost at anything, right? They never win. There's trophies for everything, participation. And you've got now parents who call you up. You wrote up my child? I mean, you're kidding me, right? Here's the deal. People tell me employees hate rules. I say bullshit. Employees love rules. What they hate is the inconsistency in management enforcing those rules. So what we want to do is make sure we have a system, a process, a way that we can train them. We lose our people in the first 90 days because they don't know what the job is, how to do it, and they don't know how well. And they've got a bully manager over them yelling at them. So you want these millennials to work? You got to be specific and clear. That's why they're not making it in the restaurant business today. Is you say follow somebody and hope they have common sense. It doesn't exist. That's all I have for the questions. I want to thank everybody for taking time to be on today's webinar, allowing me from the bottom of my heart to share with you the why I started the company, that you know more about my background and really why we were put on this earth, and why you would join or why you have joined. I want to remind you that this business is not easy, but we can make it much easier. The challenge is there's no magic pill. It takes work. Look, I said it earlier. We're not right for everybody. I just like to think we are. But if you're willing to do the work, I promise you, we're going to change your life. We're going to get you to make the money you deserve. You're going to be able to leave your business and make sure, and it will run your way. You will have systems and accountability in place, and you'll have managers, a full management team. Because my goal, the industry average for profitability in a restaurant is 5 to 8 cents. You work with me and my team, my goal for you is 15 to 20%. Don't think it's possible? Don't sign up with me because you're right. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. I can't tell you how many countless members that are making 15, 20, and even 25% because they have incredible volumes, right? The more volumes there are, the easier it is to do because once I get past break-even point, I get that many more pennies dropped to the bottom line. So if you're ready for change, we're here for you. If you're ready to take your business to the next level, we're here for you. If I can help in any way, know that my resources, my people are here for you. That's why I started this company, for you. Because the bottom line is if I wanted to make lots and lots of money, I would have gone after the chain restaurants. A lot easier. Thousands of locations and one person to manage. Instead, who's our member? The independent operator. 1, 2, 3 stores. Sometimes we've got 5 and 7 chain people, meaning small independent chains. But we're here for you. The one person that needs to get their life back and make the money they deserve. I want to thank everybody for being on today's webinar. I hope to see you in the future. Make sure you call, find out some information. All we need is 15 minutes of your time to learn more about you, tell you what we do, and see if it's worth talking. From there, make sure you subscribe on my YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day.